Hello yogis, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to our practice today. Today we're going to be focusing a yin yoga mini yoga snack for feet and ankles. For all those of you who are on your feet for long periods of time, or if you have some struggles with your arch, with collapsed arch, or fascial tendonitis, or anything that kind of affects the ankle and foot itself, then this might be a practice to sort of include in your weekly lineup before or after your normal exercise routine, or whenever you need a little release, maybe at the end of a day after standing on your feet all day, to kind of give your feet a little bit of extra love. For this practice, the only thing you will need will be a blanket or a rolled up beach towel or towel, so just something simple like a towel out of your bathroom will work just as well for this practice. We're going to start with a stretch for the bottom of the feet. A lot of people know this as broken toe. So we're going to lean forward, tuck the toes underneath as much as we can, and everybody will have a different toe tuck. Now here, if this is a lot, you can take your fingers down onto that blanket or onto the mat and fold over, or you can start to sit back on your heels. We're not going to be in each one of these poses for very long, but this is a great stretch for the arch of your foot, the bottom of your foot, all of those ligaments running through the bottom of the feet. Noticing it doesn't take long for this pose to build up rather quickly. Noticing your breath here. And because we're working with the feet and ankles, we're affecting all of the lower body meridians. So a great way to really activate, clear, and kind of bring into balance the lower body meridians is to work with your feet and ankles. If at any time you need to lean forward, go ahead and lean forward. Like I said, just a couple more breaths here. And then start to lean forward, take that pressure off of your toes, very gently allow the toes to come back. Maybe leaning forward all the way and tapping your toes on the floor, wiggling them around a little bit. And here we're going to go next to the top of our foot and our ankle. So leaning back, if this is a lot for your knees, you can always sit on a block or on the blanket itself, but sitting back on your feet, here is a good place to start. But if you would like to deepen this or explore where you want to go, you can start to lean back, take those knees off. Some people like to take a blanket and tuck it underneath their knees, so it gets the top of the foot a really deep stretch, and this is an option as well. Or you can take your hands together at heart space, lean back and lift those knees off on your own. So whatever feels good for you. We don't spend a lot of time in our day having the top of our foot stretch, so it's really important to focus on this space. With our shoes and the way we stand and the way we step, a lot of our day is spent at that 90-degree angle, and so really taking the top of the foot and stretching it out can feel really opening to the front of the shin and the thighs and the legs. Giving a little foot massage here. And here again, just going as deep as you can, about 60%, and kind of hanging out. We won't be here quite as long as other poses. Now, if you, like me, have your toes turn in a little bit, that's okay too. If you would rather have just the top of the foot just stretched straight out, you can sit back and take that version where your feet are just straight out behind you. I kind of like to do both. So if halfway through you want to switch that position where your feet are just straight back behind you, you can do that as well. When taking care of our feet and ankles can prevent a lot of issues moving on up the body, because the feet and the ankles are the first thing that touches the ground and gives us that feedback from the earth. This is a space that distributes up the legs into the hips and the rest of your body. So really taking care of your feet can be super helpful. Also helps prevent you from tripping and falling because you have more awareness and you can recover quicker. Some of the biggest injuries that happen to people throughout their lives would be ankles and feet, or Achilles tendon. Here, going ahead again and leaning forward, tapping your feet or waving them about. Now with your rolled blanket or rolled towel, you can unroll a little bit so it's a little bit shorter to kind of fit more of your arch space. We're going to take a squat pose with a little bit of support. So coming into squat, taking your knees wide, and take your arch of your foot or the heel of your foot, depending on what you want to get here, onto that blanket roll. Sitting back, this is great for sort of elongating the spine and moving out the lower back as well. But this affects the fold, so we're folding a little bit deeper, and everybody will have more or less mobility in this space. Some will have a 90-degree angle, some will be able to fold over a little bit deeper. This is as deep as I can go with my ankle, and that is a bone-on-bone issue. Maybe that your bones will just only go so far, right? You may need to have this blanket roll a little higher, a little bit lower, depending on your bone structure. We're going to be here for another minute and a half or so, so settling into your version of this pose. If this is just way too much, you can always take it up against a wall, leaning your back against a wall and giving you a little bit of support with the blanket underneath your heels as well. Just a couple more breaths. It can seem like forever in some of these poses with the feet. And here we're going to lean forward, come up, take our feet a little bit closer together, and take a dangling pose where our arch of our foot is on that. So we're like almost a little wearing high heels, spreading the toes wide and just hanging out here, forward fold. Now, if you want less of the blanket roll underneath your feet, you can roll it out a little bit less, so it's less bulk underneath your arch. But this helps you kind of remember where your arch is and sort of stretch that arch space. Three more breaths. This can often feel good too to really kind of pressure into, so it's like a little massage for your arch, giving a little lift, a little compression there. Last inhale and exhale. Leaning forward, coming off of your blanket, and coming all the way down onto your knees again. So we're going to take that blanket roll, and we're going to roll it up all the way. And we're going to tuck it in the very back between our hips and our ankles. So the ankle's right there, our feet are folded back. This is going to give us a little compression on the Achilles tendon. So sitting back on that, we're just going to spend about a minute and a half here. We're going to kind of tuck it way back in there so it gets right on that space between the heel and the ankle, giving you a little tiny little massage there, a little compression. Just about 4 more breaths. For those of us who have a lot of tension in our calf muscles, this can be really helpful A lot of times the attachment for your calf muscles from the top and the bottom will be really tight and tense, and to kind of massage this area down at the very bottom can loosen up a little bit of that tension, which may essentially loosen up the back of your legs completely. Last inhale and exhale. Coming off your blanket roll, taking that off to the side, swinging your legs around, wiggling your toes a little bit side to side, waving your toes. And that's all. Some quick and easy things to do if you're someone who is on your feet a lot or just need a little help with your feet and ankles overall to help continue mobility, make you feel a little bit better. A quick and easy thing you can do any time of day, at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, before, after your exercise, just including it in your regular practice. Thank you so much for joining me today for practice. Have a great week.